Hi, Maria. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. For those who are joining, we're just giving it, of course, 4 minutes to start, an additional 2 minutes, and then we will get this presentation started. Talking to you is Auburn Smith, social media and content specialist for Learning Tribes. You all are early birds. That's awesome. I'm an early bird as well, so it's nice to see some people in here early. And for those of you who are joining us, everyone's mics will be muted except for the presenter. So for now, you will hear my angelic voice, followed by Philippe Riveron's. So thank you again for attending. We look forward to having you all. Hello, everyone. For those who are just now joining us, again, this is Auburn Smith, social media and content specialist. I would like to welcome you all to our presentation. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes, but thank you for joining. We look forward to having you with us today. For those of you all who are joining us, everyone's mics are muted. So for now, you will just hear my voice followed by Philippe Riveron's during his presentation. For those of you who are here, in the comments to your right in the chat bot, where is everybody coming from today? I would love to see who is tuning in. Again, this is Auburn Smith, content specialist. So if in the chat you want to say where you're from, that would be awesome. We are going to get started in just 2 more minutes. St. Louis, awesome. Since being, practice social distancing, this is the most excitement I'll be getting for today. So please chat away. Baton Rouge, incredible. Miami in the house. Oh, awesome. Alabama, Birmingham. One of my good friends lives out there. I'm originally from Charlotte, Auburn Smith here. So any Charlotte people in the house? Hi, Maka. Key Biscayne, awesome. We'll give it about 1 more minute and we will get this party started. Orange County, beautiful. I wonder how the weather is right now. I know in Miami, it's pretty humid today, so the beach would be so nice, but of course, what a tease. First thing I'll be doing once we get out of quarantine is hopping right in the water, but still practicing social distancing, of course. All right, so it's about 2:02. Sunny, nice. Morocco, hi. All right, so it's 2:02. We will go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Auburn Smith, social media and content specialist with Learning Tribes, and I would like to welcome all of you to our Learning Never Stops webcast series. We're so excited that you all are joining us today. I know there's a million other things you could be doing, but in episode 1, where is your training taking you? Preparing your business for the new normal. I know a lot of us are eager to get back to work, or at least outside of our houses, but we know that the landscape of L&D is changing. So this is going to be a really great discussion. Featuring our founder and CEO, Philippe Riverone. So I can't wait to get that started. But before we hop into the presentation, a couple of housekeeping notes. For those of you who are eager to chat, please do so in the chat box. Some of you all are going ahead and sending your locations. I'm loving this diverse crowd. So if you have any comments, please put that in the chat box. If you click on the 3 dots where it says more, you will find our Q&A session, or our Q&A section. If you will post any questions you have there, either myself, a social media specialist, or Alex Rivas, our marketing manager, will respond to you. And at the end, Philippe will take some of those questions and answer them live. So again, if you have any questions, put them in Q&A. If you have any comments, put them in the chat box. Lastly, we will have an interactive session, so we want to keep you all engaged. When we get to that interactive section, there will be a link provided for you all in the chat box, and it will lead you to the activity. So be prepared for fun, information, and a lot of great conversation. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our featured speaker, Philippe Riverone, founder and CEO of Learning Tribes.
Thank you, Auburn, and good afternoon, everyone. Really happy to spend this time with you today. If you are here, it's because you want to learn, and I really appreciate experts in learning and development who continue to learn by themselves. I know it's a real investment for you, and I will try to make it valuable for you. The Learning Never Stops webcast series. So this is the first episode today. You will have 2 more episodes. The first one is to set what's happening right now in learning and development due to the situation. But episode 2, are you learning for life, and episode 3, training for the new normal. It's obviously 3 main episodes to follow in order to have a full experience in our webinar. We have a concept, Learning Never Stops. This concept is a strong inside Learning Tribes. We do think that it will be much more harder to restart the engine if we stop everything. So learning is a good way to continue to the day-to-day life. So I think that Learning Never Stop motto has to be for everyone and for every company. So let's start with the near past. What happened just before this outbreak? The first thing is what we can see: the market size of the training industry is growing very far. It has grown thanks to one big thing in US, the employment growth. In 10 years, so we have a 5% growth every year. It's really related to the employment rate. But the era of learning and development is here for sure. So it's a big market, the training spending for US plus 50% in 10 years. It's a lot, so more or less 5% per year. And the training spending per learner is about almost $1,000 per year. It's a growth of 21% compared to 2015. The world is changing. Why we can see this growth? And actual jobs won't be the same in the following years thanks to automation. Let's take an example. I like this example of I think there is some bank in the audience today. So if you take your bank customer representative, 10 years ago, you needed him to make a deposit, to create a wire transfer, or to know your bank statement. Today, you have all this information in your hand, in your mobile app. But the customer representative is still here. But he needs to answer more complex situations. So he needs to be trained. That is a big thing. Digital also and innovation is a big deal for every company. HR director needs to train all employees on new tools, new process related to digital transformation. Also, the new generation, and this is probably everybody talk about millennials, doesn't learn like the other. They need more engagement. They don't like top-down training. They want easier ways to train themselves. And we know that in some region, US or China, there is a big competition to attract the new talent, and the training become a real benefit. If a chief learning officer can show to any employee how it is good for him to be in the company and he will grow itself, they will be more loyal. And I think it's a good answer to high attrition in a company. So the era for L&D is really here. How was it spent? ILT was slowing down before the outbreak, but it was not dead at all. And of course, every company wanted to grow their digital capabilities. It was the era, and it's still the era of blended learning. This is something we strongly believe inside Learning Tribe. And at least every company was moving to a blended learning approach. And if you see the figures here, of course, online learning budgets are increasing and ILT budgets were decreasing. Now let's talk and have a look on the employee side. Because of the digitalization of the work, they expect first of all to be upskilled in order to work better. Our role in learning and development specialists is to give them all the skills to keep their job, to grow within the company, but also, and we know, outside of the company. So we will answer, thanks to our learning strategy, I need better upskilling. And this is probably something we were aware about before this outbreak, and the statistics show exactly that point. Before, people were learning not only thanks to the wonderful learning experience you created, I'm sure, but also on a full informal side. You probably all know the 70-20-10 model. It holds that individuals obtain 70% of their knowledge from job-related experience, 20% from interaction with others, and 10% from formal education events. Those group meetings, coffee stop, mentoring sessions are no longer in place, or in a different way today, thanks to the outbreak. And this informal needs to be recreated. And this is probably one of the big things. We all think about how to work on the formal learning side, but the informal side is not very well distributed today. So, and we can see also networking, business travel, job security, office space, all our environment has changed. So it's a big shift today. We have here, for example, our 10 trends. So every year we launch our 10 trends in learning and development. That was for the 2020 one. I don't want to deep dive too much on those 10 trends with you today. I will deep dive in three main in the solution for the outbreak, because it changed, of course, a little bit, and we'll see how. All these resources you can access to on our website. This video is accessible on our website. If you want, also there is an infographic on the 10 trends. Let's talk about the pandemic. And I would like to take one example I know very well. It's Learning Tribes. So let's take this example. We are a global company with 4 offices, and we are serving more than 120 clients today in 28 countries. Our solutions are consulting, content creation, learning technology platform, and ILT facilitation. So it's a full stack approach, and we cover all kinds of modalities. Our organization was already prepared for the situation. All our technology are in the cloud, and all our tools are collaborative today. And I would like to give you the impact for Learning Tribes. First thing is 100% of the team is remote today, unless China. And I will come back to China because all started in China. Early February, we have our IT and development team for our technology. In one day, early February, we closed our office and put everyone in work at home. To be honest, it's not usual in China to work from home. So we needed to recreate a new way to interact with our employee over there. So we created, for example, three check-in during the day. So coffee with Ben, who is our country manager, every morning starts at 8:30. Then an informal lunch for those who are more alone. And obviously there is each situation we can understand that is different, and some people have got their family, some people are completely alone. So for people who were alone, we created an informal lunch. And of course, we are closing the day with another meeting. Chinese used to have their manager every day. They don't used to be alone. They don't used to take decision easily if they don't ask their manager. So that is why the communication was really important. Also, WeChat. It's you probably maybe know WeChat. WeChat is a social network in China, the biggest one. It's a mix of Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, Apple Pay. It's all in one. And WeChat became our main communication tool, not only with our employees, but also with our clients. And what was interesting is we were using some mobile learning solution to train people over there. And it was a big trend. Now it's not an option, it's just an obligation. So mobile learning became a big part of our business over there. So 100% of the business moved to mobile learning. So not only to train people, but also to communicate and to work with, and also to make business with our clients. And then the virus go east, go west, to Europe. The virus came to Europe, and our office in Paris closed early March. So early February, China, early March in Paris. In France, we had a great first round in December. All the country was locked due to a union demonstration in public transportation. So our team was already ready to work from home. So in March, it was not a big deal to put everybody remotely. But the only thing we have, and one of the big challenge we are facing in France is ILT, for sure. ILT is still big in France, and all our clients ask to cancel every ILT session until further notice. So we are still today in this process. We know that the French president said that he will reopen the country on May 11, but it will be gradual. So even if we close all ILT session, we had a peak in March in our digital learning business in order to transform all ILT in a digital way. So for us, it was a 100% growth on the digital learning side of the business. It means that we needed to upskill all our ILT team to move to digital in a very short period of time. So how we did it? We did it with the ILT session, virtual ILT session, every day, in order to train them to be more and more digital. And all our people is in the same was in the same office. Now they are distributed everywhere. So the biggest challenge was really to change and upskill our team to more digital learning. Then the virus moved to US and to the West and to Americas, I could say, 1 month ago. But no need to tell you, in US, everybody used to work remotely. Even if I am a strong believer in working at the office in small tents to create informal interaction, today everybody works remotely. Our work and our people were already ready for a blended learning, content creation, and technology platform. I need to say, it didn't change a lot what we have done before, and but it was a real impact. The good news, the hope for everyone, the Chinese team and the Chinese office reopened 2 weeks ago. So I think it's a real good message. Of course, it was really rude in terms of containment, but now it's not business as usual because it's a new normal, and we will talk about it. But at least China reopened. We know France will reopen soon in three weeks, and after it will be US. The business impact. And if we have a look of the business impact for training company, there is not one single answer. What we can see in this graphic, for example, some around 30% didn't have any impact thanks to the outbreak, but 30% dropped their revenue. I need to say it's a big, there is a big difference on ILT company who are focusing only on facilitation and could have a drop of 100%. I've got some colleagues in other training company, 100% of their revenue dropped if they didn't have any digital capability or VILT expertise. Those are the pain points, and now what I would like to do with you is to maybe you have an interactive exercise. We are in a webinar. We are trying to test new things. So here you will have access to an exercise, and you need to create and to express your pain points. So maybe Auburn, if you can take the lead from here.
Yeah, for sure. Games is my specialty for those of you who know me. So what we'll do is I'll kind of walk you through the mural, and then we'll let you all have at it for about 5 minutes. So essentially what we have here, first and foremost, you'll need to copy and paste that link into your web browser. So while you all do that, I'll give you an overview. Once you're in there, you all will want to enter anonymously. You can put your name, of course, but they give you some really cute characters. To know which character you are, you can look in the lower left corner to see which mouse is yours. But what you're going to want to do is use your little scrolly, I don't know how else to describe it, your scrolly wheel on your mouse to zoom into that board. Now what we have here, as Philippe just mentioned, is some of your challenges. So what you're going to want to do is either click on a blank Post-it note and type what some of your challenges are, or go ahead and click, drag, and drop some of the ones that have already been created for you. So as you can see the matrix here, we have clients and customers, people in HR, revenue and cost, and operations. So if it's a high risk or high challenge for you, you're gonna wanna put that closer to the center. A little bit of a challenge, not much, you're gonna wanna put that in mid. And then of course, if it's a low challenge or a little priority to you, you're gonna wanna put that on the outside. So wow, I see you all are eager for activity here, which I love. I'm seeing a lot of mouse moving. Clients not responding, high risk or high challenge. Yes, okay. Teams productivity. Interesting. Don't forget, you can click on some of those blank Post-it notes and type your own response. You can increase size if you need to see it. I know for me personally, I wear glasses and my face is glued to the screen at all times. So go ahead and make those Post-it notes bigger if you need to. I do see some of you are getting creative with the round Post-it notes. Nice, exploring, I love it. Let's see, lack of payment, high. So we have a lot of high challenges now. Let's see what's on the outsides here. Vendors requesting payment, okay. A lot of diversity and challenges here, a lot of versatility. Marketing funds limited, team motivation. And also, for those of you who enjoy this little interactivity here, this is something that we recommend that you use with your own teams. It's very engaging, very easy to use. So please feel free to use this tool. It is Mural. Let's see. And don't forget, you can zoom in and zoom out with your little scrolly wheel on your mouse. Again, if I had more words to describe it, I would, but that's what we're working with. So we'll give you all about 1 more minute here. Again, as you all are seeing, there's a lot of versatility in responses. We're all facing a lot of challenges, whether that be financial, with clients, people. So we're all being impacted in different ways. And of course, inevitably, all of our challenges will affect how our L&D will look, especially when we return. Maintaining clients' engagement, especially during this time remote, yeah, that's difficult. I'm loving some of these names: anonymous koala, anonymous bird. I think I see anonymous koala working on scaling solutions built in today's climate for use in the future. Yes. See where that Post-it goes. Mid challenge, okay. Oh, sorry, anonymous ram. So hard to tell which objects these are. So we'll wrap up this activity now. As you all can see, again, a lot of versatility and challenges faced, and how critical it is for each organization. So let's go ahead and hop back into the webinar. And Philippe, we will pass it back to you.
Thank you, Bern. And I think that kind of activity shows also that we are facing the same challenges everywhere. I can see a distributor not concerned about online learning. It's adoption and digital adoption. It's a big deal. Telework, of course, and on the client not responding on the sales side, of course, it's a big deal. Clients need of new solution, lack of payment, and scaling solution built today, climate for use in the future, and so on. So we will let it open, so you can continue to play with it, and we will come back later if needed. But I think it's a good way, and thank you for answering and playing the game with us. I think it's a great way to interact when it's a distance, and it's like a distance learning right now. Talking about distance, I think that working remotely is the new normal. We can see that all of our team and inside Learning Tribe, but same for all of our clients, they are all remote, mostly. Some of them are still in the office. I know, for example, we are a big client and we are part of a group, of a call center group, more than 30,000 people now working from home in the call center industry. So it's a big deal. Sometimes our teams were not prepared to work remotely. They had to adapt and learn fast. Our mission was to apply and replicate this model. So here is how to succeed as a remote worker. It's an infographic. I think you will probably start to use that kind of content. What I would like to offer you as a complementary content is here we have a free access. So we will give you maybe in the chat access to this website. What is this website? It's an access to our technology called Edflex. It's a learning curation platform. And what we have done for this specific COVID-19 situation is to work on a training path. It's for free. It's in French and English. And I will take working remotely, organize yourself. So it's a 4-hour training where you will find, it's a learning path, where you will find all the information. So it's a gamification path with quizzes, and after that you will have a certificate at the end. And you have skill number 1, organizing oneself to work from home. So with some articles, some video, a quiz, and skill number 2 is working in a remote agile mode. I think it's a good one, this one, with some video, articles, and a quiz also. Stress and relaxation. We have some people who ask us, okay, how can I be more relaxed because I am alone and I would like to, so how to stay calm when you know you will be stressed. It's a video, some articles also, and the last but not least, business continuity plan. To face the crisis, how to create an effective business continuity plan with an article, some video, quiz, and a final quiz who will give you a certificate. You can, and you will be able to promote this certificate on LinkedIn, for example. So it's for free. It's I think maybe our way to give back to the community of L&D professional. It's a good training path and a good way also to talk about learning curation, and we will talk about it just after. Working remotely, or you probably have also those figures. It's where they are struggling the most. It's of course how to unplug after work, the loneliness. I think this one is very important. Most of the people who are young, for example, they don't have a family around them. We can understand that they need to be connected, for example. So it's a new way. I would like to give you one example I received this email yesterday. You probably know Xfinity. It's a big telco company in US. It was interesting to see how they communicate to their customer, because I am a Xfinity customer, about how they support their own employee before talking about supporting clients. In this email, you can see they are talking to the client, to our customer. The first thing they are talking about is supporting our teammates. So I think it's very powerful. And if you have a close look to the second point, it's interesting for our purpose today. They redeployed and retrained thousands of employees from retail and direct sales to mostly frontline customer service and back office staff, doable from home. This shows two things: a strong agility to move from a model to another. And obviously for big company, we know it's how hard it is to transform a company. It shows that they are doing exactly this. And the second, the importance of all people around the table in this webinar. Training is crucial when a company needs to change. You are the key for the transformation. I think this small example, and I have many others, show exactly why training is in the middle of the game during this outbreak. Because we need to help to be more agile as a company, but also as an individual. And they need to redeploy and they need to retrain their people. And obviously, showing that to every customer is a good way to promote what you are doing. Of course, they were talking after that about their customer. How to do that? Let's take this wheel. We call it the wheel of fortune, but this wheel is the wheel of the learning modality. We understand easily that now before we had the live training with seminar, the ILT training, workshop, coaching. On the other side, we've got all the digital capabilities and modalities with e-learning, mobile, MOOC, VR, virtual reality, some chatbot also, and so on. Today, in this outbreak, before we were playing with 10 modalities, now we are playing with 6. So all in red is not anymore available as a learning specialist. So you cannot play with that. So today you have only 6 modalities instead of 10. Even if I'm a strong believer in blended learning approach, I do think that it's a big deal for us to move to more digital modality, and the only live training is virtual ILT, virtual classroom. So it's a big shift. Let's have a look to one interesting study we found about considering the next 3 months, how many of your organization, program, classes, etc., have been or will be shifted from face-to-face to an online format in response to the COVID-19. If we had more than 62% move their 75% or more ILT session to a digital format. It's a big shift. We never see that before. Even if every company was in a digital mode, we have seen it. Yes, we will move faster on digital. Today, it's a complete shift, and there is no other way to look at this graph than, of course, we need to do it faster. It's a big deal. Let's talk about, let's have a look of this graphic also, very interesting. Before COVID, that was the path of learning technology. I'm pretty sure you have one of those projects on your desk before the outbreak. And it could be a learning experience platform. I would like to replace my old learning management system to be more on a learning, to have more learning experience platform, or I would like to put some virtual reality, or I would like to create more micro learning thing. The mobile, because I am, for example, in hospitality, mobile is a big thing. So I have a project to do some mobile learning. Also, of course, some video is a big trend also, because to replace the old e-learning style into web series, for example. So I'm pretty sure. So have a close look to those specific technology, because I will ask you to do an exercise just after. So the exercise, so be ready. Maybe you have more, and I will be more than happy to listen to you, but we will do a collaborative exercise in order to understand what did you change with the outbreak. That was the path of the mainstream adoption for before the outbreak. I would like to see now, and we will come back to our game, training priority or technology training priority. What would you do now? Auburn, it's your turn.
Thanks, Philippe. All right, you masters of Mural, let's head back over to our mural. This one is new. I know you all are eager to get started, so please place your current training needs based on level of importance and difficulty to execute. So as you can see on the lower x-axis, importance and impact, and on the y is difficulty on cost. So as you can see, some Post-it notes have been pre-written for you. And again, you can go to any of those blank Post-it notes. Some of you all were getting explorative in the circular Post-it notes. Regardless of the shape, grab your Post-it note and please place your training struggles on the map. So I'm seeing all of the anonymous animals getting eager, and video learning has been put on the board. Okay, it's kind of hard to keep track of like who's who. All right, Anonymous Duck has placed mobile learning pretty high, yes, especially now. Let's see what else we have here. Again, feel free to zoom in with your circular wheel on your mouse. You can also use Control+ or Control- to zoom in and zoom out if you need to see better. I'm assuming this large check over use of technology is very important to, it's extremely important. Adaptive learning is pretty high on difficulty and cost as well, but low importance. Don't forget placement on that x-axis of importance as well as difficulty. So the closer to the y-axis, the less important, and the further away, the more important, as well as impact. I'm loving the high importance of ILT. I said low importance, high importance of ILT. Let's see. Give you all about 1 more minute. I think this is from Anonymous Bear, going from a courses first approach to a learning experience and performance support approach. That's high importance, mid difficulty. I'm seeing content curation, my favorite buzzword. My trainers don't know how to facilitate virtually. Yeah, that's a problem a lot of companies are facing right now, especially with the abrupt change to virtual. So we'll wrap this activity up. I'll pass it back to Philippe. Philippe, do you have any comments as far as these Post-its?
Yes, what I can see is that we have, yeah, I like this one more integration. It's pretty hard to put in, but it's a real impact integration of the system in order to promote a user experience, a seamless user experience is one of the big deal for a big company, because you have many systems, and that's a good one. My trainer don't know how to facilitate virtually. Obviously, this is one of the bigger skill, and we need to upskill as soon as possible. We have a change management around new learning approach. Totally agree with you. It's a how, and exactly what we have done with our team in France, and how to move our people from ILT and who are producing ILT content or facilitating ILT to create digital content, or to facilitate in a virtual world. I think it's a very interesting one. I can see, of course, ILT content creation, low difficulty but big impact. Yes, because content is already here, and I think we will talk it just after. And here, what we have, positive culture, adaptive learning. Yes, adaptive learning is probably one of the most difficult parts, but very interesting one. I'm not sure in the following month it will be easier to put in place, but yeah, scaling learning solution made for today context to use in the future. Of course, using what we are trying to do in a quick and dirty way in order to use it after. So think for now, but also think for future. It's a big topic. Increase engagement. Engagement is everything, and when we are in remote, engagement is one of the big one. Micro learning for sure, mobile content creation here, user technology. Love it. Okay, thank you. I think we will let it open. I think so you can benefit from each other, and you can see what in the field what other can bring to you, and maybe something you didn't think about. So it's a good way to have a good learning on it. The new normal, let's talk about, and this is the final slide. The new normal, what have we done for the new normal? The first thing, I told you that we have 10 trends in learning and development in 2020. So we took the 10 trends and said, okay, on those 10 trends, which ones are really crucial and what changed the game? And obviously, it's a study we have made internally with our clients and also on our prospects, because we are a training company, global training company, and we can see what are the big needs for now when they are calling us. Okay, I need that. So we have revisited some training content. The first one, as we said before, we need to make it fast. We need to put our ILT in the ILT or digital way. So it's a lot of content production. We need to accelerate the content creation. So the user-generated content strategy is key. Learner can train other learners thanks to their knowledge, because they are a subject matter expert, because they have a knowledge on specific one, so they can create content. How they can create content in a mobile learning approach is very interesting. What we are doing, for example, in China, because they need to create a lot of content to their mobile, they take themselves in and they can express with a short video, TikTok video, you know, probably TikTok. In a TikTok video, they will give a tip, something very easy. Of course, it's again quick and dirty sometimes, but it's very impactful and low cost for the company. So I think that every company, what they are looking for is how to reduce my cost to create digital content. Of course, some of the content, compliance, soft skills, and so on, has to be very professional, but some others on maybe a tool, maybe a process could be very, very quick, very fast. Second thing in this user-generated content, you need to create a community of creative learners. So as learning, your role as learning specialist and expert, you need to do what we call a community management. So you need to have this community of people who are able to create and to, because some people are more creative than others. So you need to manage this community of creative learners. Fortunately, we have many tools today to do this. We are using internally Microsoft Teams, for example. Teams is a good way to animate a community where you have workplace, Facebook Workplace, and so on. And change the role of L&D department. Yes, probably you won't create a lot of content today, but you will train people to create content, or you will do QA, quality assurance in the assessment for the content already done, because you will need to pay attention, of course. Giving the power of the user to create content sometimes could be not so easy in a compliance world. So that is why the L&D department needs to be not only training, engaging, managing the creativity, but also put some barrier. We know as a learning specialist that pedagogy is something. It's not because you will put a picture or something that it will become a training content. So you need to put a community, and this community, you need to train them, you need to explain them adult learning concepts and how they can train. Last but not least, which is the tools. You need the right tool. For example, in Learning Tribes, we've got a learning experience platform called Tribu. In this learning experience platform, you've got a studio to create your own content. So you need to have this an easy way to create content for the learner. So your platform needs to allow, for example, if you want to use the smartphone to create a video, a 1 or 2 minute video with the guideline you gave them, the video has to be like this or like that with an intro and so on. You can create, they can easily create their video, send it to the platform, and after that they can create their own quiz, for example. So of course you need the technology to do user-generated content. That is, but it's a big trend. It's a big trend also behind what we call micro-learning. Of course, small bit of content, small, we call it sometimes nuggets of content, can be created by everyone. So that's for us, it was a trend. It's the biggest trend today because we need to create more and more digital content. The second one is content curation. You don't have time to create, think curation. Sometimes don't create, curate. Yes, you have many opportunities to access thanks to the web. And because you are a remote worker now, webinar like you do today, and this webinar can become learning content, and you will have access to this, and you can probably put it in your learning experience platform, for example. So first, you need to organize access to content already available online. So what is content? First, it could be video. We know video is very powerful. YouTube is crazy. I don't remember exactly the number of hours uploaded in YouTube every day, but I think it's 500 hours per minute. It's something like that. So it means that there is a lot of content everywhere in every language. So video is a big thing. TED conference, for example. MOOC, massive open online courses. You've got many MOOCs around the world. podcast is coming in the learning field. I can tell you, I see more and more podcasts in a training path. Webinar for sure, article Harvard Business Review and all those magazines are really interesting, and it's a way to learn. So you need to find the right content. Then you need to curate. It doesn't mean that it's a good video, it's a popular video on YouTube, that it's a good video for your people. So you need to really watch it, and you need to rate it, review it, and so on. So learning curator is a big part. And of course, you need a platform in order to put all of that stuff. Obviously, this is what we are doing. We have one platform called Edflex, EDFLEX. Edflex is a learning curation platform where you will find thousands of contents curated by the learning curator, and also with some review. So it's much more easier to see, okay, this content is popular with this public, so I think it's good for me. So content curation is a good way to promote digital learning because it's easy, it's fast, and I need to say, we've got, I told you, 5 big solutions in the learning space. This is where we have the best needs, and sign up tens of contracts just last week on this specific offer. Why? Because it's easy to put in place and say, okay, at least I have content to offer to my employee, but also my clients. Some of them are using this for the client, for the distributor, for example, for the channel of distribution, and so partners and so on. So not only your employees, but also you will give them knowledge, which is very valuable in a partnership. So this is an example, and obviously the training path on the remote worker is one of it's based on this learning curation platform. Last but not least, I think this one is also a big one. I have seen integration of the system. It's a concept in the flow of work. In the flow of work, what does it mean? It means that if you are thinking about your learning management system, probably your learner goes to your LMS once or 2 times a month. But they are using their CRM, they are using their HR tools, they are using their Teams, Microsoft, they are using every day. So this is where you need to be as a training, and the training content needs to flow into the daily tools. So what does it mean behind? The technology needs to be integrated. So for example, if you are using Microsoft Teams, you've got or Slack, you've got those channels. In one channel, you can, and I will take, for example, finance. I've got a channel finance, and I've got a tab, which is all the training on the finance side. So I think it's a big advantage to be more integrated. So, and you can reach the learner when they need and at the right level. So that's what we call it, the beginning finally of adaptive learning. And I do think it's a great option for you. So think in the flow of work how to put your learning system, whatever are they, into the flow of your work. Okay, so where do we go from here? So that was my purpose for today, is to open the doors of what is the context of this outbreak, how we start to manage it, and so on. We will have another episode, Are You Learning for Life? So choosing the right training for the skills you need, curated content and lifelong learning, which is 2 big topics. It will be next week, and ready to broadcast. It will be Ashley, I think, in our team, who will be your presenter. Maybe we have a few minutes, 5 minutes, maybe some QA. If Auburn or Alex, you want to help me on the QA side?
Sure. If you all have any questions, go ahead and type them in the Q&A box. You'll see that in the black bar at the bottom of the screen in between participants and chat. So feel free to type any questions you have there. My assumption is that you were so thorough and so incredible that they were like, no questions.
This is always how I conclude when I have no question, is I was clear, for sure.
Yeah.
No, don't hesitate. If you have any question, of course, you can put your question here. You will find this webinar. It has been recorded, so you can share this webinar to your people, to your team, to your manager, if you think it's relevant to them.
Philippe, we do have a two-part question here. What kind of services do we have for VILT training, and what about blended VILT training?
That's an interesting one. So VILT, so in terms of services for VILT, we offer two things. First is to create content to VILT. So we help our clients in order to convert some ILT content to VILT, because we know the interaction are a little bit different. So it's instructional design for VILT. This is the first one. The second one is about the technology itself. We don't have a VILT technology ourselves. We embed all technology inside. Obviously, when we talk to our clients, we try to tell them, don't buy any new technology for VILT, because there is a security breach, there is so many compliance and security. We try to work with what they are doing. And I will take one example, because today I think it's a very interesting one, is Microsoft Teams. I do think Microsoft Teams is a good tool for VILT, and we have worked and we have put in place some good interaction between a facilitator and learner thanks to Microsoft Teams. So with survey, whiteboard, and as you can see, we play with others, the mural, and so on. So it's not only taking your content to VILT, but it's also to help you to use your own technology, because you need to make it quick and so on. Lastly, of course, we've got some technology partner for VILT if needed.
It looks like we have two more questions. One is more of a comment. It's not just about going from live to digital, though. It's about rethinking how people learn, going from courses to resources and from creation to curation. So do you have any recommendations on that or any comments?
I think rethinking is a good word. Of course, in that outbreak, we need to think faster, and we need to think about who are our learners and where are they. So I agree with you. It's not only going to digital. It's what I told you about taking something to VILT. So it's not only technology, but it's also, okay, they are using this tool every day. This is where you need to go. I totally agree with you. And sometimes don't curate. I think it's a good way. Curation is a big one.
Okay, and it looks like our last question here. Can you share Microsoft Teams best practice for VILT? Or MS Teams?
More than happy to do it offline. But yes, we have many practice now with Microsoft Teams, using it as a VILT tool. It's very powerful. Also, be careful, it has to be related to your learning management system, because if you need the data and the analytics, you need to integrate. So I think it's not so easy to answer globally about Microsoft Teams. We need to be very specific to your to your environment. So yeah, we can definitely share. So, but again, and this is integration, the best what we have seen is when the training is inside your work channel. And I gave you the example of finance. I have a finance channel with all my finance manager and so on. And I have a tab, a specific tab where I can push some training. But the training itself is not hosted in Microsoft Teams. It's hosted in my platform, in my learning experience platform. So I have all the data. I know exactly where people went, what they have done. I've got quizzes and so on. So it's an engagement platform a lot.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Philippe. I think that's all of our questions, and we've just hit the 3 o'clock mark, so that's great. Thank you so much for presenting. It was an awesome presentation. Thank you so much for everyone who attended. Again, this video recording will be sent to each attendee. So I hope you all have a great day. Any last words, Philippe?
Thank you very much. It was very appreciated to have you today. I know the time is valuable right now. Good luck. And I hope that next week we will have some good news. And don't forget, the next episode, you will learn more about content curation, which is one of the big topics.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.